What is up, everybody? Welcome to the RC Dirt Oval podcast. I would say back, but it has been quite a while. Things have been very busy. But joining me tonight from a very close distance for the first time ever, all the way from Felton, Delaware, my local track owner at WNRC, half of TQ Bodies and Wraps, and just all around good guy, Adam Jarrell. What is up, Adam?
What's up, Alfie? How are you doing, man?
Buddy, I am, I'm here. So tonight's a bit different for me. Normally, I'm at a nice station set up just for podcasting, and it's a very sound structural wooden desk. But tonight I'm at a 6-foot folding table, and I have my podcast mic mounted to it, and it keeps collapsing the plastic table because it's a very heavy mic.
Nice.
And I have 4 cars in various stages and tools and everything else on my desk tonight.
That sounds about like my bench. It's got tires and wheels and cars and different stages and bodies in different stages and graphics and it's the week before.
Yeah. So today we were recording on Tuesday. And Adam, you head out Saturday morning to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it is crunch time. And on top of that, Adam is the other missing link for Motorama, if you would. He is doing tech and scoring and just about everything else under the sun. If you have messaged the Northeast Nationals page, there's a good chance you might have been corresponding with Adam or myself. So if you're coming to Motorama, you'll see Adam there. And if you're at the Chili Bowl, you'll see Adam there as well.
For sure.
Sure. So, Adam, I know a good bit about how you've ended up prepping for the Chili Bowl, but for everyone else, give us a rundown. I know you were involved in full size, so, kind of give us that and how you got into RC.
Sure. Well, it's kind of crazy how I got into RC, but to start out many years ago, started running Actually, I went to wanted to buy a race car, was looking into Area Auto, which is a local paper here. Most everybody probably knows about it. Mm-hmm. Was looking in classifieds, looking for a car. A buddy of mine had a go-kart, brought it home. My mom said, you better take that thing back. You need a roll cage. So I found a micro sprint pretty close by and started on a micro sprint. And after that first year we ran that, we decided we were going to build our own chassis. Built like 10 chassis to pay for me and my brother's racing for the whole year. Basically got new cars, new motors, went racing, did very well with it. Then ended up buying a Sportsman small block modified to run at Georgetown Speedway.
Okay.
Went there for the first night, and that was the last night they were having that class. So we had to back up and regroup. We found a Corvette 427 and decided we were going big block racing. Put that in, raced it a couple weeks, and ended up buying a Doug Myers motor out of Pennsylvania and ran that for a few years.
All right.
Blew it up. And said, well, it's getting too expensive. We're not going to do that. Had a couple guys call and offer me a crate modified ride. Did that for a little while and got in an accident, got hurt, and said, I've got 2 kids at home, better try something different. So here we are about a year and a half ago, decided to toy around with some toy cars. And now I'm prepping for the Chili Bowl, which is kind of hard to believe.
Yeah. It's... you either, when you get into RC, I think you're either into it for a year or so, or you end up going just crazy deep in it.
I fell in the crazy deep end.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man.
Not at all.
It's good fun, and your 2 boys run, and and then on race days at your track, your wife's out there usually cooking, and your brother's helping with the track. Your dad helps with the track. And
Yeah,
so it's a good
I
family
really got to
thing.
thank them a lot. They make it real easy for me to have the track and do so well with the track because I mean, my dad is on top of that track. That's his baby. He doesn't like anybody messing with it. Track prep is his thing. Everybody's got their own thing, so it
Right.
actually works out really well, and it seems like everybody likes it here. We've had some really good races here, and people seem to like to come back.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. You and your family have done an amazing job, and I think I've said it before, but I think it's a testimony that 3 years ago we couldn't get but 3 sprint cars, and um, our big points race at the end of the season we had 30 mod sprints
Yeah.
at that. So yeah, it's a testimony, and the thing is, it's a true loose dirt track, and I know it frustrates you because you get blowouts in it, but I think the experienced racers that have been there love it for the fact that it is loose, and you'll have that. So
Yeah. The loose dirt definitely equalizer. I mean, you don't need the big motors. But having the big motor is not always the best thing here for sure.
Right, that is for sure. Yeah, I in mod sprint. I bounced between a 10.5 and an 8.5 all season, and always had enough motor. So, Adam, what I kind of want to hit on tonight is this will be your first time ever going to the Chili Bowl. So, kind of thinking I'd like to kind of hit it from the perspective of what's your expectations and what are you looking for from the trip, and then I think as time permits we'll do a post follow-up show and have you back on, and you can discuss expectations versus reality, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, Alfie. I don't know. Something happened over this summer and said, "Hey, we're going to go to Chili Bowl," and a couple of them were talking. A couple of them backed out, and I said, "I'm still going. I'm still going out there to see what this is all about." There's with Motorama coming up and doing a lot of tech. One of my expectations is to go out there and see how tech is run. And that's a big deal there, and I want to see how it's run to try to bring some of that process, hopefully our way, so that way the rules we can kind of equalize a little bit. And if you build a car to go to Chili Bowl, you can build a car to go to Motorama, and you can build a car to go to WNRC. I mean, that's where I would like to get to try to equalize that out a little bit. I think that's one of the things that needs to happen to try to get more racers potentially. And just to go out and meet people. That's the big thing, is to go out and meet people. My expectations on driving. I mean, I run the races every week, so I don't really get to do a lot of wheeling. So, I mean, if my B mod can stay together as good as it did the last couple of times I had it out, it'll be a decent car. I've got a brand new 5.7 wingless sprint car. I don't really know how it's going to do, but we're going to do the best we can and have fun. So that's my expectation, is to have fun.
Okay, so let's talk about nerves or anxiety, or for you, is this going to be, oh, it's just another race and I'm cold as ice on a driver's stand, or do you think the moment, the scale of it is going to get in your head any?
I'm sure it is. I mean, what I think about is, I believe it's Garrett Williams.
Yeah.
That was up to Motorama last year. That was shaking so bad that could potentially be me. I'm not going to lie. It's a very good possibility it could be me. There's a lot of talent that's on that list of entries for that race for sure.
Yeah. Wingless. Wingless. It's pretty deep. I was impressed by this year's list for that class. It's looking good. So, how much time have you put in your cars versus what you would a normal race?
I believe our last race was 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and I've been working on them ever since then.
Right.
I ripped them completely down and put them all back together and I'm still not ready.
Right.
We're probably gonna be up until Saturday morning when we put everything in the trailer and head to Tulsa with it. We'll still probably stop Saturday night, and there's a good possibility we could be working on cars then too.
Yeah, well, now just don't forget, because I know you're planning on getting in line early Monday because you're taking a trailer. And publicly thank you for taking a trailer so you
No
can take
problem.
my
Not a
stuff.
problem.
But you could, in theory, once you're in line, go ahead and hop in the back and start thrashing in, and you'll have several hours to do that.
You know that's my fashion usually right before we go to a race. I'm usually think of something on the way there and totally tear it down and start all over again. And I'm sure this race will be no different. I'll get out there and think of something and take it down to bare metal again and start all over.
Oh yeah, if you don't rip your car completely apart at least once, I don't know if you've really been to the Chili Bowl or not. All right, so and your brother is running what classes again?
He's running B mod,
Right.
Midwest mod, and street stock.
Okay. All right. So that's a good spread. And what's his take? Because he's really quiet, at least around me. So is the scale of the event playing into him any, or is he just like, I'm just going to send it?
I think he's just going to send it. I believe he's just going to send it. I've asked him numerous times, "Are you ready? You got everything good?" I mean, I've got a list on my board in the shop, and I've got everything written down, and I'm checking things off, and I'm wiping them off the whiteboard. And I said, "Are you going to make a list?" "No, I've got it. It's good."
Right.
And I just don't know that he's got it, and I don't know how good it is, but he's going to send it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to warn everybody. He has the name the podcast assassin for a reason. So be on the lookout for him. That's all I can say.
He'll be the quiet one.
Yeah, he'll be the quiet one and is not afraid to kamikaze it on the track. All right. So I was having a discussion. I'll leave the person out of it today. So you and your brother were one of the luckies that got in under the 2 hours, but the idea has been thrown around, and this is something that hopefully we'll have to contend with at Motorama in coming years. But how quick it sold out, and doing something to allow people who ran good the year before, say, right? So I was pitched the idea that Scotty should do it, that if the prior year you made the B main or better, you have a 24-hour window to sign up before it's opened to everybody else. What do you think about that?
Well, I guess I know where Scotty's coming from with just trying to figure out, and too, with working on Motorama with scheduling. I mean, you've got so much time, you don't want to have everybody out there super late at night. So having the number of entries is what drives your schedule. So then does that mean his cutoff needs to be down to 325 or 350 to allow those?
No, he would it would keep the cutoff the same, but it's kind of like a grace to the people,
to the guys that did well.
Yeah, to the did well that, so they have 24 hours before everybody else, so that they don't have to be sitting right at their computer and everything else. It's kind of like a provisional general entry, but not to a main,
Yeah, that's definitely not a bad idea. It definitely gives those guys that wanted to go out there that did well the year before, gives them a chance. But if you're going, you're going, and when that time clocks, we all set timers to know when that opened up.
Yeah.
And we were clicking the buttons on the keyboard so fast to make sure we got in there.
Yep.
If you're going, you're going.
Right. Yeah. It would be, I don't know, 7, 8 classes, and then the A and 2B. So it's 30 cars. I mean, it definitely, I don't think would sell out in that first 24 hours. So the general public would have a opportunity. Yeah, I don't know. So something, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, Scotty doesn't care. He sold his 400 entries. He doesn't matter to, if it was a main winner or a guy's never been. But yeah, it was something I was toying about with Motorama, and I found it interesting. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's the 24 hours prior to.
Yeah.
The 24 hours prior to. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So like,
yeah.
Those guys would have a 24-hour window before everyone else to sign up for the race, and then the next day it goes live to the general public. Yeah, I guess they used to do something similar with the open wheel, and it worked good. And yeah,
that definitely doesn't sound like a bad idea, because they're still going to know if they want to go. They're going to be there on that 24-hour prior to sign up. So that probably would help out a lot.
Yeah, hopefully
he's still going to sell his 400 whether he opens it up 24 hours prior to or not. It's it's sold out.
Yeah.
It was 58 minutes or something that was sold out?
Just under 2 hours, hour and 57, hour and 58.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, well, hopefully, hopefully if Motorama goes good, we'll have that problem to worry about in the coming years.
And I can see that happening just with what we have coming in this year. I mean, it's been a phenomenal entry list so far. It's been very good.
Yeah.
And good to see the people coming out to support that race.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So back to the Chili Bowl. Do you have a good handle on the formatting?
Yes and no.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to see it on paper. It's an entirely another thing to, be in the midst of it, and then trying to, especially after Tuesday, trying to like navigate to get into the open practice and feel like you're a lemming being herded through or something.
Sure. And I think the only thing that I, just from studying it for potentially using it up to Motorama, that's about my extent of understanding it is, I understand a little bit more talking to Lifetime about possibly using it for Motorama. Mm-hmm. And I understand it a little bit better that way, but I think once I live it, I think I'll understand it a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I know I had pitched it to you that I think it would be hugely beneficial to be in that environment with as thorough of tech that they have, and not waiting on anybody or any of that stuff. It'll set your mind to how a big event should be ran. And then, you'll also get some of the, you'll get an experience of the heated drivers that, drama will be happening, tension will be flying, and because they get going at each other a little bit on the driver's stand, they snap a little at each other like, alligators or crocodiles or something.
Wow.
So yeah, you'll get to experience that and see it firsthand, and have that under your belt from Motorama. So you'll be ready for that. All right. Have you put much thought into your daily schedule, right? Because that's the one thing that I struggled with 2 years ago when I was there, was that everybody wanted to, hey, let's go hang out, let's go do this, let's go that, and when you got to be in there at 6:30, 7, whatever it is in the morning, and like you got to be in and like waiting in line to get on a track if you want to hit open practice. And I'm not one that can roll out of bed and drive a RC car for anything. I mean, I struggle to drive when I'm, wide awake and in the
100%.
afternoon.
Right.
Yeah. So I know that hurt me, and I'm planning on this year. I've got my quiet little Airbnb all to myself, and I'm going to disappear and head back and crash out most nights. I might take 1 or 2 nights and go do something, but have you put much into that?
I haven't really thought about it. I think you and I had talked about it very briefly. You asked me what I thought I was going to do, and hadn't really thought about it. I've been thinking about RC cars most of the time, and hadn't really thought about it. I also have an Airbnb. Me and my brother.
Right.
We're probably going to crash there quite a bit, and hopefully we're not thrashing on cars every night, doing total rebuilds or anything. But I'm more of a morning person than I am a night person.
Right.
I can. Since I've had kids, I used to stay up all night long and work on cars, but now it seems since I've had kids, I'm going to bed early and getting up early.
Right.
So
right.
I'm an early guy. I can function early.
Oh yeah, I can attest to that from my 5:30 a.m. messages I get from you.
I've had 2 cups of coffee before then.
Yeah, the bad part is I always respond to you almost instantly because I'm up too.
You do.
Yeah, that's the thing that to me, I've over the past year, this is getting so off subject. I've studied a lot on like winning mindsets and read some books and stuff just on your outlook and your mindset and everything. And by the end of that week, most people are so burnt out of RC that I think it's really hard to function at a real high level. And I think that's why a lot of the same guys make the A main, is because they can decompartmentalize everything. And, it's just, and they do, they set good boundaries and habits through the week. And so they're, because they're there to win. Like that's
right.
I'll say it for him. I know Dustin Malicote gets accused of, being a little, I don't know, a bit of a jerk, I guess, at the tracks. But I know just from talking to him on the podcast and stuff, man, when he's at a big race, he's got one mission. And he's there to win. He's not there to make friends, and it's to win the race. And he's told me, he's like, I'm going to be going back to bed as soon as I can, and crashing out. And yeah, so I think that's important, and I think it's wise to set a good work rest rhythm, even though we're not technically working this week at our day jobs. But yeah. So who of all the players that'll be there, give me 5 names of people you want to meet.
Dustin Malicote for one.
Okay.
Shane Wheeler.
Okay.
I know he'll be there.
Yep.
I mean, any of those guys that are out there, they're the ones you hear about all the time.
Right.
I just want to watch their habits and what they're doing. Because I do a lot of the observing. I watch a lot of people. I mean, I do it every week here. I watch a lot of people work on cars. I watch how they act on the driver's stand. And I think that's I might even miss a race by watching somebody else's car.
Yeah. Well, and I think I think you'll really appreciate the different approaches,
Sure.
I'll make sure I get you over and introduce you to Arnie and Nathan. Arnie is extremely, systematic and detailed, and the way he approaches it. And then I've seen other fast guys there that are almost a step from just throw it down and run it.
Wow.
So I mean, they're doing changes and stuff, but they're not scaling and writing it all down. And So I think that's one of the biggest things is you'll kind of, I did anyway. I walked away going, okay, there's no right or wrong. It's what works best for you.
Sure.
And because you'll see two different types in the A main. So I think that's awesome. I love that part of it.
I've got plans to drag a camping chair around and sit down and talk, and drag it to the next spot and sit down and talk.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's I mean the little bit of getting to be on the track is just a bonus for me, man. Getting to see all these people that I only get to see usually once a year. Some of them will go luck out and get to see again in February. But that's not the normal. So that's the fun part. So are there any restaurants? That's a good question. Are there any restaurants that are a must hit for you?
I don't know of any.
Okay.
I know there is a couple that I've seen people talk about, but I can't remember the names of them right now. But there's a couple of them that I see a few posts on Facebook that say, "Hey, you've got to go to this place or you've got to go to that place." But I guess that all depends on what time we get out and if I need sleep.
Yeah, that's the big thing because I've heard they were just going to rip between rounds. I heard another person say they're going to rip between the rounds and then halfway through the rounds. And I see it setting up. Could be a really late night. Yeah. So I might be over in the trailer with you, like laid back, catching a nap or something.
They close all the doors, take a nap.
Yeah. I ain't ashamed to do that.
Me either.
Yeah. Right. We got one for me that I got to hit just because there's none anywhere close to here is I know that, they have Whataburger out there. I got to hit that. There's a diner that we went to last year that a lot of people know. I might try to make it back there. Somebody added me to the other chili, the full size chili bowl group, I think. And I saw some restaurants mentioned in there that a lot of those people go and hang out at. So I might have to reverse search that. Yeah, and hit that up. See what kind of good food they got hopping off out there. Maybe get a brat with some sauerkraut or something.
Right.
I don't even know if they do that out there. It might, I might be completely out of my element.
Sure. Yeah, they may not.
Yeah, we'll see. I know that Zaxby's is right next to the track. That's a must hit. There's a Starbucks between my Airbnb and the track. That will be mandatory. Probably a couple times a day. Yeah.
I may go past the track to get to the Starbucks and then back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Just text me and I'll pick your order up.
Okay.
So do you have, like, seriously, all that aside, do you have a finishing spot in any class where you're like, okay, in my mind, if I finish here, then it was successful?
I really don't. Just making it there is probably going to be successful for me.
Okay.
And to be able to go around that track, I mean, it's just to be able to run it. I think that's going to be enough for me. I feel pretty good about my B mod, and that's just because I think I've got a little bit of time on it. I don't have many races on it, but what I have run is run pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel pretty good about it. Do I have an A main car? I really don't know.
Right.
I really don't know. And the car may have the potential. It's just, do I have the potential? I could lose my mind and quickly.
Yeah, that can happen, and that's understandable. But I know, I think you're going in with the right mindset. I'm going back to the same mindset I had when I went before. I just want to finish better each round than I did the round before. If I can do that, then I'm happy.
I think I remember more about your previous Chili Bowl finishes than you do.
Oh, you did. You were like, should I take dust covers for my car because you were stripping so many gears? And I was like, I was. You were like, yeah. And then I got thinking about it. I was like, oh crap, I did. Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Let's see, 1, 2. I don't. None of my cars have them this coming year. I hope that's not a. Hope I'm not jinxing myself.
Mine do not either, and I'm nervous about it.
Yeah, I might have to fashion up some Lexan or something.
I will definitely have some of that with me.
There you go. Okay, that's a good question. How heavy are you packing for this trip?
Well, I probably take everything, kitchen sink. I'll take it all. If it's RC related, it's probably going to go.
Yeah, I stopped by my shop today and I looked over in the corner and there was like 3 slashes and I was like, is there anything at all that I could maybe need? I don't know why. Maybe I should take them. If you know what, somebody else might need something off of them. Yeah, if I can fit them in a box, they're going to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Really don't know why, but yeah, and especially since you're taking a trailer out, that offers a lot of freedom to take a lot more stuff.
Sure.
So, we'll talk about since he is a roving co-host, our buddy Scooter. I am trying all that I can to get Scooter up to Motorama. So, especially because kind of the beauty of Motorama is it's really a 2.5 day race. You could show up Friday at lunch and spend that day practicing. So I think it would be ideal for Scooter. So if you listen to this and you know Scooter, message him and tell him he has to be at Motorama.
He has to.
He has to. And I have a sprint car that I want him to run because he is not a fan of sprint cars. In fact, he calls them mosquitoes. He says they remind him of a little annoying mosquito. So I want to see him in one. So if you know him, send him that message that he has to be here. All right. What's that?
He definitely likes his fenders. That's for sure.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have fenders, he doesn't really like it a whole lot.
Yep. That's for sure. But all joking aside, Scooter's my buddy. I messaged him the other day and I was like, hey man, yeah, I kind of got an issue. I'm running short on some prep. Is there going to be any in Tulsa? Because I didn't realize I'm taking 4 sets of short course tires and 3 sets of wingless, and those back tires are big. And
They're big.
Yeah. So when I was doing my break-in and burn-in the other day, I went through a ton of prep. So he was like, yep, he's got a big shipment going out that's going to be available at the graphic shop, Craig Boots stand. So I think Shane Wheeler will be hanging out over there. So if you need some, stop by, pick some up. I know I'm going to stop by and pick some up from them. And,
yep, I'm going to be right there with you. Hopefully they've got that new scent out that they're talking about. I think Scooter was talking about a watermelon scent.
Watermelon, yeah, man,
change it up a little bit.
That's what I'm talking about. Come on, man. Now, for people who don't know where Adam and I are from, man, we grow a lot of watermelons around here.
We do.
So
they take buses and chop them in half to carry watermelons.
They do. I don't know if they do that anywhere else in the country, but it's pretty amazing they do it around here, and that it's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know how they do it.
I don't either. I'll try to describe it for anybody who's never seen it. So, because we grow a lot of watermelons, to transport the watermelons to the auction block, and then they get sold at auction, and then usually New York gets a lot of them. But to get them from the field to the auction block, they take a school bus, and from the right behind the driver's seat all the way back, they chop the roof and halfway down the sides, and they literally fill that school bus just rolling over the top full of watermelons. And yeah, I mean, brimming full, and run that to auction block. So it's quite a scene here in the summer. You know, usually like August is when they start really picking them, and you'll just see school bus after school bus chopped up. So it's a wild sight.
It's wild.
So, let's see. Chili Bowl, I think we've covered that. We are, if by some absolute bizarre chance you listen to this but don't follow the Facebook page, Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Was that 11 p.m. Western? I don't know, whatever. We are going to be attempting to do a Facebook Live, provided I have the bandwidth there to do it. We're going to do a roundtable discussion, and we're going to just talk about a few things. We're just really kind of want to have some fun. This isn't going to be anything too overly serious. I got a few serious questions, but tentatively, people that have committed to be there, provided nothing comes up. We got Max Floor from Custom Works. We have Nathan Dean, Arnie Phi, Eric Hancock from Evolution Racing Concepts, and Dustin Malacote. And I think that's it. And just a caveat, throw this out there for everybody. Yes, I'm aware there's a lot of other manufacturers out there, but I simply could not have everybody who is either A, a prominent racer, or B, a manufacturer. It's going to be tough enough with 5 very opinionated people to be done in a brief amount of time, because I know, you know, it's load in night, but still everybody wants to get back and get a good night's sleep, you know, to hit fresh Tuesday morning. So that's all. Wasn't really anything selective. It was just kind of this one told that one, and I invited a few people, and it just kind of ended up being that. So no hard feelings, people. Just how it is. I know at the Chili Bowl also, Nathan and Arnie are going to do a setup seminar over at Power Products with Mark, and I think the plan is they're going to record it. I don't know if it'll be Facebook Live or if it'll be recorded and posted later. But that should be cool. You know, those two guys definitely have some seminar chassis expertise to share. And I know myself, I am planning on doing a bunch of video work. Most of it will not be Facebook Live. I want to just try to keep the quality level really up. I guess I'm getting old and crotchety. I hate scrolling through my Facebook feed and I see this super pixelated video of somebody doing Facebook Live from a track, and I'm like, I can't even tell what class that is on the track right now. Maybe it's a sprint, maybe it's a short course, I don't know. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. I do know I'm going to do a pit walk that'll probably be Facebook Live. I'm going to do the parade of cars that'll be Facebook Live, and the round table. And other than a few shenanigans, that's probably going to be it for Facebook Live. Everything else will be recorded and then post-produced and thrown up, probably both on the YouTube channel and Facebook. So we'll try to get as much good coverage as we can. So that should be good. We're going to,
Alfie, that roundtable would probably be. I'm going to be pretty excited about being a behind the scenes podcast guy for you there, helping you out and actually seeing the interaction with those people. That's a good group of people there. There's going to be a lot of good questions and stuff come out of that, I bet.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, man, it's that's a stacked deck, and the cool thing is, and people get really, people get really misconceived perception of it all. All those guys really get along really well. And that's the cool part, is I know it. A lot of the tracks, the Custom Works guys will hang out with the GFRP guys and vice versa. And, a lot of people want to try to make it out to be this, nasty rivalry and all that. And that's really, really not the case, not at least at the top. So, all those guys like and respect one another. Yes, they want to beat each other on a track, but they truly do respect each other. So I'm pumped. I gotta say, I've kind of had to brainstorm, but I wasn't actually the motivator of it. I'm not going to mention who was, and I know you conspiracy theorists out there probably guess or think you've guessed who it was, and I would tell you would be 110% wrong. So have fun with that one. All right, I got that off my chest. So now, moving on real quick, we'll hit on this, and then we will probably try to get this wrapped up. So Motorama is coming up, and that's February 14th, 15th, 16th, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, at the Pennsylvania Farm Expo Center. That could have been a radio cut right there. That was so good.
Could have been.
So, we are pushing somewhere between 60 and 70 mod sprints right now, which is just mind-blowing to me.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah. Right at I don't know if we're just under or just over 200 entries. What's crazy is I think we're at 111 racers.
That is pretty amazing. For sure.
Yeah. So, I know I know a friend of mine, friend of yours as well, catches some grief for association with us in Motorama. So I won't mention his name, but he did the math, and it's like 1.79 entries per person at Motorama. And the Chili Bowl is like 2.3 something, let's say. So that racer entry, not car count, racer entry is crazy to me. How high that is. And what I've come to find out from a lot of them, guys I've talked to, is they're just like, yeah, I just want to run one class because I want to make sure I got time to see Motorama. And I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. Like that's exactly what this event is for. Get to come race your toy cars and also get to take in everything else. So I think that's fantastic. We still do have some room to sign up. So sign-ups cut off February 3rd. So you have been warned. There will not be sign-ups at the door for this event. We want time to have everything entered into scoring and all of that taken care of. So just know that that's how that's going to work. So if you want to get signed up by February 3rd. I'm pumped for that event. I think after that event, I'm going to need a month off from RC.
Yeah. I probably should have went on vacation instead of going last week. I probably should have went after Chili Bowl and Motorama. I think that would probably would have been better for me. But I took my vacation before the mad rush.
Yeah. Ah, that's all right. To see now
But
you're fresh and you're relaxed and you're
that's what it is.
yeah.
But to also add with that Motorama, I think we ought to let everybody know that we'll be sending out an email to get transponder numbers so we can get that entered in to save some time also.
Yes, and actually, good point. And I don't even know if I've told you this. So when we do that email, we're going to be using a back end mail service. We're also going to ask you for your any people you want to thank, any sponsors you want to have listed, and also your chassis that you run. So that come a main time, we have some information to announce. We can all have all that already saved somewhere, so we don't have to try to chase anybody down and get little slips of paper filled out. And the other thing that's going to be in this email blast is going to be it's going to be multiple choice and what time you expect to arrive on Friday, just so we can kind of gauge practice schedules and everything else. So when you get that email, if you could please fill it out in full and try to give us the most accurate time that you can be there for Friday, so that we can plan, so that we can really try to have the best event possible. So thank you in advance for that. Other Motorama news. Haha, I was not lying. The J Concept short course sprinter tire is now available. It was real. It wasn't a unicorn. So if you were on the fence about running SC mod, go pick them up. And Adam, you've ran them. I've ran them. I was happy with them. It's a good tire.
I was very happy with them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know the people that were there when we ran them, they were impressed with them too. And so I think it's going to be a good tire for Motorama. Has there been any? Okay, let me rephrase what I was going to ask you. Has there been any RC news / events going on that we can talk about on the podcast that I am missing?
We just had the hangover race in New York this past weekend.
Yeah, at Full Throttle, the hangover race, 250, 70, I don't know,
Something
man,
like that.
crap ton. And somebody did the math, I think, with because they run 3 mud balls classes, 150,
150, 160 mud bosses.
yeah, 70, 13, 5 mud balls. That's what's crazy, is
That's crazy.
they had 70, 13, 5 mud balls and only 25 sprints. Right now, I think we're at 70 sprints and only like 25, 13, 5 mud balls. So it's crazy. Now, I understand they're New York. That's modified country.
Sure
Pennsylvania, PA posse, sprint car country. I get that, but yeah, come on, man. So that's just interesting, but yeah, it was a good event. Our buddy Russ Lebo picked up the win in sprint. Man, I think I saw that Peak won one of the mud balls classes. David Peak, I think. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, I'd call that a high bite track. I know some people say, "Oh, it's medium bite." Man, when you have aeration holes in clay, that to me. And you have mud balls on foams. That's pretty much high bite to me.
That's bite.
Yeah. It's not loose dirt. Let's put it that way. But yeah, great facility. I wish it was not so far away. I would love to make it up there. I mean, it's an amazing looking facility. Great event. Everybody I talked to had a blast. Had a great time. I guess, I mean, we pretty much said it on this show, but I guess it's a done deal, 100% official that Bumps and Jumps is gone forever. I'm sure most people saw it, that he sold the contents of what was left, although the place had been destroyed and stripped. I was sad, depressing video, and even sadder. A couple days later, they showed him pouring concrete where the track was, and that was truly end of an era. Really sad to see that go. I really, really, really had want to make like the freeze or something like that, and give. I really wanted to give foam a good try when I had some people around me that really knew foam cars and could help me with setup and stuff. But unfortunately, that's done. And given the state of foam, I don't know if we'll see another foam track again. I don't know.
It'd be really nice to put a roof over mine and have a nice loose indoor track.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. So this is completely does not need to be on the podcast, but if I don't say it now while it's on the top of my head, I will absolutely forget it. Adam, do you know if you're leaving Greenwood on 13 heading south in the southbound lane, just as you're getting out of the reduced speed area, there is on the right hand side what was an old gas station, probably 60 years ago.
Ended up being a metal, a place where they sold metal.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So that place is empty and it's available, and their out barn / buildings look rough, but they look good enough to hold an indoor dirt track. Yeah. So I saw that today, and I was looking at that building. I was going, man, as long as that roof don't leak too terribly, we could do something in there. So I want to try to get, who owns it, reach out to them, because we need an indoor track desperately.
We do.
Yeah. So I think other than that, I think everything's good. Silly season is done, and I think J Concepts signed the entire RC community.
They signed quite a few.
My gosh, man. It felt like every day. It was not every day. It was like hourly. Proud to announce. That's cool, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's good. And not that it matters or anybody cares, but I have stepped down from all my sponsorships but one, and that's Papa Willie's. Scooter's my buddy. I would endorse his product no matter what, as long as he's making it and it's a good product. As long as the quality keeps up and he still makes it, I'll brag about that stuff forever. And I got asked by several people, does that mean I'm still driving GFRP? So yes, I'm not sponsored by GFRP 57 Designs. I just like their products. I get along fine with Dustin, and their team guys help me out with setup when I have questions. So their cars fit my driving style, or my driving style has come around to their cars. So yeah, I'm going to keep running their products, and I like their products, and I like promoting their products. So their stickers will be on my cars. That's really the only 2 stickers on my car. Someday I'm going to get a WNRC sticker to put on them as well.
Yeah, I've been asked about coming up with some of those, and I guess it's about time to go ahead and make that real.
Yeah. Now, are you going to stick with it? Because, for those who don't know, you've actually started making a legit hobby shop. You have inventory on the walls, and so is it going to stay WNRC Speedway, or is it going to be hobbies, or what?
That's it. We may end up throwing the word hobbies in there, but if it may end up just being WNRC, and
oh, there you go.
Yeah. It might just cover everything.
I dig it. And it's cool. I had somebody ask me the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, it's race only. Like
Yeah,
your inventory
yeah,
you're carrying is it's only race, and I dig that. You're just trying to make sure what the racers need you have available. Um, you're not trying to get rich off of it. You're not trying to retire, and it's more of a service for the racers. So,
definitely, definitely.
um,
The guys they get off work and the hobby shop's closed. I want to be able to make sure that they can call me up and say, "Hey, do you have this?" and give them what they need
yep.
so they can be at the track next week to run, have fun.
Yeah, yeah, and I know you would. Again, man, I'm not trying to brag you up too much, but um, I want to publicly say how cool it is the amount of times that I've seen a new racer show up, or I've seen a couple times that you've had a light crowd, and you'd be like, man, there's no charge today. Like, don't sweat it, and so it's refreshing, man. You're not trying to get rich off of it. You're just trying to have fun, cover your cost, and make sure people got a place to race. So thank you for that. I know all the local racers thank you as well. Hope they know how lucky they are for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and thank you guys for supporting me and coming out each week and making sure that you have fun. I mean, that's what it's all about, is having fun and enjoy having families here, and everybody seems to enjoy themselves. And that's basically what it's about. I just want to make sure everybody has fun. I'm not trying to retire off of it. That's for
Right.
sure.
Right.
So we do have some improvements we want to do this winter when the weather gets straightened around. I mean, it's halfway snowing here today or tonight.
Yeah.
So
And then almost 70 on Sunday or something
yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'll be gone, so I won't be able to do any track work on
I
Sunday.
know. I saw the weather and I was like, oh, I can go test. No, my stuff won't be here and I'll be catching an airplane. So crap. All right. So before we wrap up, two things. What is your biggest frustration being a track owner? And what is your greatest joy being a track?
Yeah, Alfie, that's an easy question. My biggest frustration is the weather. You just never know what the weather's going to do.
Right.
We can pretty much maintain the track pretty well in the beginning of the year and the end of the year. It's just those hot summer months that seem to be a little tough on us, and that's the ones that really frustrate me. We either have blowouts or the track gets dry, and that's one thing I don't like, is a dusty track,
Right.
because it just makes it makes it a challenge to drive on. But I don't like people getting dusty,
Yep.
so that's a challenge. What the biggest thing that I really enjoy is the new people.
Yeah.
I lend my cars out to more times to people that didn't have something or just came to watch somebody. Hey, do you want to try this car? Got a couple mud bosses here, and that's been the biggest benefit, is to have a couple cars here.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you and a couple other guys local here that have donated them to the track. They're here.
Yep.
We stick a battery in them and let those guys run. I've had a couple of them call me up and say, "Hey, can we come over and do a couple practice laps?" And I go out there and paint lines on the track and say, "Here's where you need to get off the throttle and you need to ease back on." And
Yep.
they just really enjoy that, and that it teaches them something, and I'm giving back to them, making them feel good, and just giving them the attention they need to be successful.
Yeah. Well, you've done a good job of creating a healthy environment. The there's not a ton of nastiness or bitterness or any of that, and the testimony is the new guys that are into it and are there regularly. They're passionate. They're buying products, dirt oval products, and they're just telling everybody they know about it, and that's the beauty of it. That's what I love too. I think you and I are the same in that.
Yeah, definitely. I had a guy call me this week, and he's asking about mud boss questions, and I mean, we just that's just odd. We don't. It's just odd for me to have people calling saying, "Hey, what do I got to do to get started?
Mm-hmm.
What do I need to do?" And it seems to be almost weekly we get questions to what am I going to do? What do I need to do? How do I get started?
Yeah.
And it's just that it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Absolutely. And it's it's good. So as we wrap this up, I just want to say to the people of the RC Chili Bowl, if you see Adam, right, like go up, ask for his autograph, maybe get a selfie. I told him I'm going like, he's going to be like rock star status when he shows up there now. So really, really play it up, man. And like if he's on the track, like cheer for him, like chant his name and all that. I'm just messing. Everybody there is really cool and really welcoming, and I'm pumped, man. I'm so once these cars are done, and it's mainly just one car. Once that car is done, but I got I got shipments that don't get here till Thursday. And I was originally taking the trailer to you Thursday night, and I was like, "Hey, what if it's Friday night?" You're like, "Yeah, it's fine. We'll make it work." So, last minute thrashing, but
Definitely.
it's how we roll. No big deal.
That's it.
Yeah. So, all right, Adam. We will hopefully not be too burnout or suffering from the Chili Bowl flu when we get back, and we can get you on again and
Definitely.
get your take from it and see if it lived up to the hype or whatever.
Definitely.
Cool. All right, guys.
Sounds good.
Well, you know the deal. You know where to find us. 2020 is here, and let me just get through the Chili Bowl. Let me get through Motorama, and then we will start cranking back some episodes, getting into it. My passion for podcasting is back again, and we picked up a ton. Live RC ran a thing about podcasts yesterday, and like my downloads skyrocketed overnight. So anybody new listening, welcome. This probably seemed very inclusive episode, so I apologize. But be listening. We'll have some more generic stuff in the future. We'll have some more guests on. Hope to do a lot of work over on the YouTube channel with some stuff. I got some people asking for some things and got some other projects I'm working on. So just keep having fun. And thanks everybody for listening. You guys rock. Thanks for everybody who requests the show. When's the new episode coming? That means the world to me. I can't remember the guy's name, but thanks to the guy who gave me the shout out on the Live RC about the audio quality. That really means a lot. I'm all about that life. So until next time, guys, that's a wrap.